Chris Rock responded to Will Smith's apology. His response, I'm reading quote unquote, was "fuck your hostage video." That's what he said. Chris Rock also made this joke where he said during a comedy show following that response, yes, that shit hurt. He played Ali. I can't even play Floyd Mayweather. So that so he said that. I want to read some other quotes he had. Let me see. If he had anything else here. I'm just looking. Okay. I'm just seeing if there's anything else. I don't see anything else here about it. But so that was all he said. So I found that interesting that that was his response to it. So I definitely understand Chris Rock never forgiving Will Smith for that because it was a very embarrassing moment and he was emasculated. If you think about it, he got bitch slapped on on national TV and that clip was played probably millions of times all over the internet. Hell, maybe even billions of times when you factor in all the people who probably viewed him. That was the slap, I would say, bitch slap heard around the world. So I could understand Chris Rock not forgiving him, just never wanting to forgive him again. I can respect that. It's very humiliating. I don't know how Will can ever make up that embarrassing moment to him. Just, I feel both of these guys suffered from what happened. Both were impacted in a negative way. Chris was embarrassed. Will also humiliated himself and destroyed his legacy to a large degree. A lot of people don't view him the same the way they viewed him prior to the slap. So it's impacted both of these guys. I don't think either of those guys will be on solid footing ever again after what happened. I've honestly felt that Chris Rock's career has been in decline for years. To me, he stopped being funny really after the 2000s. I would say start of the 2010s, he wasn't funny anymore, really. Just he was just that old middle-aged comic that was good back in the day, but he just didn't have that same energy or flair. Just he just didn't have it anymore, and I think that tends to be a case with a lot of these comedians. Once they get older, it's just hard to remain funny. It's very challenging to be funny just because I feel comedy is a result of just suffering and misery. The greatest comics in the history of comedy were people who had tortured childhoods. They were outcasts. They weren't accepted. They went through a lot of shit. They were poor. They struggled just in every way imaginable. Now think about it. Suddenly you become rich one day and you have everything you need. It's going to be hard to come up with new material that is funny because your life is really good. Just how do you remain funny when there's no misery really around you? Perhaps the only misery you have maybe relationships just not working out, but that's really about it. But everything else is covered. So I think you run out of material because you also don't have that anger you did when you were rising up in the comedy game. Just that anger gave you the energy to be funny. I would say anger and funny is related. Just when you're angry, you can also sound funny. Just your rage drives you. Just I think you lose that once you get older. If you're a successful comic, just there are not many guys who I've seen that are funny once they get above 40 or 50 in that range. Just they've lived most of their lives. They have now just established themselves, so it's hard to remain funny. And I just think Chris's career was really on a decline even before that slap. But I just think this put more eyes on him. People start looking at him at it again, and they see like, wow, this dude hasn't been funny for a long time. Well, that's why I haven't watched his comedy specials in like 20 years or or 10 years or whatever. Just so I just look at it in general. This whole entire incident was a bad ending for both of these guys. I don't see their careers ever rising to the heights it once was, or even during their peaks ever reaching it back to that level. So yeah, that's all I had to say about this. Let me know what you guys think.